Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform. On this program, we examine the national issues of the Bahamas, and from time to time, we go outside the Bahamas to talk about matters of interest outside our country. We talk about entrepreneurship in this country a whole lot. And in recent times, we have been asking about empowerment of Bahamians. But there are some Bahamians who have taken risks and who have gone through a whole lot and personally empowered themselves. So we are talking about personal empowerment on our program today. And our guest on the program is a Bahamian who has gone to the United States of America and has done well. She owns 2 hotels in the United States. Left this country about 30-odd years ago, and now she is the proud owner of 2 hotels. She has a wonderful story to tell, and it's our pleasure to have her as our guest on the program today. Elizabeth Williams, who is an entrepreneur, who's an investor. Nice to have you on the program.
Thank you, sir.
Godfrenius, nice to have you here today.
Thank you.
You've met some wonderful people, I see.
Yes, very much so.
Mrs. Williams, tell us, you were born in Nassau?
Yes, sir. I was born in Nassau.
Okay.
I left Nassau at the age of 8 after my father and my mom separated. And I was raised by my grandmother in Andros, Barron Point, Andros, and my grandfather.
At the age of 8?
Yes.
And you went to the United States?
No, I went to Andros
Okay.
at the age of 8.
Oh, you went to Andros at the age of 8?
And my grandmother raised me.
Okay.
And then I left at the age of 15 and sent back to my mom to Nassau. And at the age of 21, I left and went to United States.
Why did you leave the Bahamas at age 21?
Well, I was getting away from my ex.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, I understand. So you went there at 21.
With a 10-month-old baby.
With a okay. Were you in search of employment?
No.
What did you go to do?
I went there to be with my relative there in Illinois. Let me start the story how everything ends to the United States. I started off with $150 with a 10-month-old baby, and I went to the United States from Nassau to Miami, and I caught the Greyhound bus, and I rode from Miami all the way to Chicago with my 10-month-old little girl, and from there I got me a job, a living job, working with a doctor. He's a professor at the Northern University in Chicago, and I worked with him for 10 years. And after 10 years, I resigned from him, and I went and got my high school diploma, and I entered college.
Which college did you enter?
I started off at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois.
What did you study?
First, I started off in education, and then I switched nursing, and then I switched from nursing to education.
So how long did you stay in the profession of?
I taught for 10 years at Collins Elementary in Dania, Florida. And then I resigned, put in my 10 years, and I went in to work for myself, my husband.
How were you able to stay in the United States all of that time?
Well, I got my amnesty through President Reagan. So that's how I got my green card and lived there. And I got me a job working, at that time I was going to school, and I got me a job to work as a teacher.
Good. And so you just decided that you would want to make the United States your home, your place.
Yes, the opportunity was opening, doors were opening, and
yes.
I take advantage of all the opportunity that the United States had to offer me. Like I said, I went back and got my GED, and from there I got into college. At the meantime, I was working as a housekeeper, taking care of Dr. Hughes' 3 children, and I work and save my first $10,000 underneath my mattress.
$10,000 under your mattress?
Yes.
Just like an Andros guy.
And I brought that $10,000, and I bought me a piece of property here for my retirement.
Now, today, you are the owner of the airport Inn and Suites?
No, Express Inn.
Express Inn and Suites near very much
Yes, near the airport.
near the
in
airport
Charlotte.
in
Yes, sir.
Charlotte,
Yes,
North
15
Carolina.
Yes, 15 minutes away.
How did you swing that, as they say?
Well, we started off, my husband and I started off fixing up, I'm a married woman for
Oh,
21
we
years.
didn't even get there.
Yes,
So you got married
I got married.
to an American man?
Yes, I met here in the Bahamas.
You met him here?
Yes, I met him here in the
So
Bahamas.
rather than staying here, you decided to go back with him?
Well, I came here, I came here on a 10-day leave from teaching to bring my mother back to the state. And I met my husband. He came here for 1 day, and we were just crossing paths. And we spoke for 15 minutes, and he called me every day ever since, for about 3 months. And 1 year from that day we met, we got married.
That's interesting.
And we have a son.
So he came here for 1 day?
For 1 day. He is my husband from heaven. I truly believe that.
That was love at first sight.
Yes. I think he's my reward for taking care of my mom, because I came here to take my mom back to the state with me.
What is your husband's profession?
He in real estate.
Okay, all right. So how did you get in possession of, how did you get into entrepreneurship?
Buying old property, old houses, old property called fixer-upper. We bought one at a time, and we fixed them up and rent them out. And then we have this thing called investor club. These are investors that lend out their money to an individual like myself who wants to buy property and flip. And that's how we got started.
So you flipped a number of properties?
Actually, we hold on to our property. When the economy was doing well with the real estate, then we went ahead and sold them, and we went into the hotel business.
And today you own one in Charlotte?
And one in South Carolina.
And one in South Carolina.
Yes,
so
sir.
you're in North Carolina as well as South
The
Carolina?
Carolinas.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Godfrey?
You mentioned earlier amnesty under Reagan, President Reagan.
Yes.
You know what it's like to be an illegal immigrant.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
What is that? Tell us that story.
It's a really, I'd never used my situation as a stumbling block. Being a legal immigrant in another country, it's like you're living under a rock. Everything is being discreet. I can't go and apply for a job at McDonald's or Burger King because you have to have the right documentation to do so, the Social Security card or so forth. So for me to survive, and those individuals in those shoes like myself, they do housekeeping, the underground work we call it, the gardening, housekeeping, babysitting, cooking in somebody's house, that type of work.
Did you? I know Evanston, Illinois.
Yes.
I know Evanston. That's
Yes.
Northwestern universities. Yeah, I know. Did you meet any other Bahamians?
No.
You never met any other Bahamians?
The only Bahamians I met there was my cousins. They're the only Bahamians that I know. They're the ones that invite me to Chicago.
But Evanston is a pretty much a white community.
Yes, it is. And yes,
So did you
it
go to
is.
church?
No, I didn't go to church. I just worked. I had a living job, taking care of Dr. Hughes and his children. And I did that for 10 years, like I said, and saved me my funds. And there was no church involved. Everything was just work. My life was just work.
Did you feel isolated? Or?
Yes, I did. I felt very isolated, very lonely, no one to express your feelings. There was no organization I can go to that I can express myself. And like I said, I work 6 days out of the week.
So you didn't have a social life at all?
No, just strictly work.
Just strictly work?
Strictly work.
You were laying low, as they say.
And always finding a way to improve myself. And the way I could improve myself at that particular time, once I got that green card, that was it. The door opened because I took advantage of everything.
So once you got the green card?
I went and got my GED. I registered myself and got my GED. After I got my GED, I went, got accepted in to Southern Illinois University.
And you were you were readily accepted, or did you have to go through a process?
I just had to pass the GED and the SAT
SAT?
exam in order to be accepted, yes.
So how old were you at this time?
When I went to the United States, I was 21. I bought my first home at the age of 24, I think I was. I bought my first piece of property, like I said, in
Nassau.
Nassau. I think I was 24,
Mm.
24 years old.
That's interesting.
Yes, sir.
So you came to Nassau, you invested here, and then you went back and you taught after leaving Dr. Hughes.
Yes. I moved to Florida.
You moved to Florida.
Yes, after I got my, I started my college there, and then I switched over, and I went to Broward Community College and did education there.
So in Florida, you met Bahamians.
My only Bahamians I met was my good old friend I met in high school here, and that's where we met in college, in Broward Community College, and we're still friends today. Now, I met her when I was in high school here at T.G. Grover.
Mm.
That was the last time I saw her. So when I transferred from Southern Illinois University to Broward, that's where I met my first Bahamian.
Now, to tell us about, I started the program talking about empowerment. You weren't waiting on anybody to empower you. You really sought to empower yourself, didn't
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell us about that process and what you had in mind when you were in your 20s. You came in Nassau and invested your money and went back to the States. What did you eventually want to do?
I always wanted to be a nurse, and I did volunteer in the nursing home to get a feel to see if this is what I really wanted to do. So I took a part-time job into a nursing home, and before I went into the nursing home, I did the CNA when I came from Florida, because I was after getting the green card. During the amnesty, I went and got my CNN. So I was working doing private duty nursing, testing that out.
So you were a certified nurse?
Yes, doing the nursing assistant. And I didn't like that, so I pursued my education and becoming a school teacher. But in the meantime, I took odd jobs, whatever it was, cleaning somebody's house on the weekend, watching somebody's baby. I did whatever it takes to keep me moving forward.
No job was.
I turned down no job as long as it was a decent, clean job. If it means you want me to come clean your house, I'll clean it. I never said no. I never said I was too good to do that. It was an honest living.
And tell us, were you coming back to the Bahamas in those periods of time?
Yes, maybe every 2 years I'll probably come and visit at a time.
Okay.
Yes.
And you always decided that you didn't want to be in the Bahamas, you wanted to stay in the United States.
That's where the opportunity was for me at that particular time. And I did not have that kind of money at that particular time. Because I know in order for me to come back home, I wanted to come back home as a self-employment. And in order for me to be self-employed, I had to work a little longer and save my funds in order to do that.
Tell me, Mrs. Williams, what was the motivating spirit behind you? What was driving you?
My mother. I'm the oldest of 8 children. My father was an alcoholic. And seeing my mom, she's working at the Sheraton British Columbian Hotel at the time. And I was the person that was left to watch the 6 siblings after me. And I used to see my mom in the morning and don't see her till the next morning, because by the time she got off doing housekeeping, it was time for us to be in bed. So my mother struggled all by herself as a single mom after separating from my father, and I wanted to achieve higher than she did. I didn't want my siblings that follow me, my offspring, to go through the life that my mother went through and that I went through as a child. And so that was my motivation force, how hard my mother worked to take care of all 8 of her babies.
So but you struggled as well.
Yes.
As when you did all the things that you had to do in the United States for you to get ahead, you went through a whole...
I did a lot of crying. It was
A lot of crying.
A lot of crying.
What were you crying for?
Things were tough. When things were tough, you sit down and you analyze your situation. There's no one that you could turn to. I cannot go to the system and ask them to help me. Yeah, there were some tears.
Did you ever feel like throwing the towel in and giving up?
No.
You never felt like giving up?
No, never felt like giving up. I love to cry. That's why I feel like crying release your stress. And once I cry, your mind kind of open up and find a solution. That's how it works for me. I release my stress by crying, and once I cry, I say, now what are we going to do about it? So I always tell myself, what are you going to do about this situation? What are you going to do with this situation? And you sit down and you analyze your pros and your cons. And I'd always try to step outside my box, because I feel that that's what happened to a lot of us. We get trapped in our own box. And within our box, you feel
Trapped.
And that's what life had to offer you. But if you step outside your box, you'll find out that Mr. Enos on the left, you're there, there's a gentleman here, and all of these solutions outside your box give you a better solution to solve your problem.
Where was your child in all of this?
My childhood,
Your child, you had a
Your
child.
daughter.
once I came to the United States, and I got the living job, doing the housekeeping and taking care of the kids, I had to send my baby back to my mother, because there's no way I could have survived with my daughter with me, because back then, like I said, in order to survive as a person who's illegal at that time, you had to take those type of jobs that nobody want, the housekeeping, the nanny type of work.
Now, so you went into teaching, you stayed in teaching for some years.
10 years.
10 years. And you met this wonderful American gentleman.
Yes.
You decided to get married.
Yes, sir.
And so obviously he's a good businessman as well.
Yes, sir. I don't know if I mentioned this. 3 months before I met my husband, like I said, I was a single mother at the time, raising my daughter and my niece. I went through this lonely, lonely feeling. And I found myself on my knees in front of my bed. And I was sobbing and I was praying. I had no control of it. Why did it happen? But my point of saying this, I found myself on my knees and I was praying. And I told God exactly what I wanted. And 3 months later, I met my husband here in the Bahamas. And my husband exactly the person I asked God for.
Oh, no, I'm interested.
Exactly.
I'm interested in what you asked God for. what you asked him for.
I asked God for a good husband. I don't care if his pocket is fat. I care about how he thinks and how he feels. As long as he had a good working ethic, so we can build our empire together. And he's the exact person. Hardworking, dedicated, good heart, family. I'm raising all my family. I have my 2 sisters. One of my sisters and her 2 girls. They just had twin babies. So I have all of them there with me, that lives there with me in the state. And my husband supports me when it comes into family. And that's what I'm talking about. I believe in family. Because without family, you have nothing. Family fights and family argue, but we all must still come back together. It's just an opinion. You know, when we're arguing, and people argue in general, it's just an opinion. But we take it kind of personal. And we need to know when to let go. If you come to the table to discuss something, and we agree to that, then we must flush it. It means we discuss it, so it should never come back to the table. And I also practice that in my business. All of my staff, we come once a month, and we all sit to the table and discuss each other's feelings. I don't want my staff carrying animosity among each other in the circle. So we discuss it, and once it's over with, it's a clean slate.
How did you get into the hotel business?
Okay, I started off in the real estate buying old houses,
Yeah, I remember.
fixing them up. And when the real estate was doing well, we had two gentlemen from Israel bought our 18-unit building, and we took the funds from that and bought the motel in South Carolina. It's a 32-room motel. It's in the historical, the first black incorporated beach left in the United States. So that's where we have our first motel. We bought it from the first mayor of the town. God bless his soul, he died, and his wife. And that was our first. And then we went to, it's called NABHood, and if you've heard of it, Mr. Ingram, Andy Ingram, he's the president. We went to his seminar, and our name got shuffled to the system there, to the real estate, and our name came up for the one that we have Express in.
How many rooms do you have at Express Inn and Suites?
It's 124 rooms. It sits on 5 acres with a pool. We have a banquet hall and a restaurant and a conference room.
That's quite a sizable property.
It's all right.
4 rooms.
But it was a fixer-upper.
Okay,
When we started, it was
Uh-huh.
only 20. We started with 20 rooms.
okay.
And we
so you
fixed-
expanded it.
Yes, we
Over
fixed them
the-
up. So
over
now
the
we're using
years.
about 75 to 80 rooms now.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Let's take this break in the program. Elizabeth Williams, who is a Bahamian hotelier in the Carolinas, our guest on the program today. We'll come right back.
Thank you.